so soulful, so beautiful. You know what it is. So we came from the east, had to go to war just for me to find peace. Fuck the police, they got the mark of the beast. I'm on 125th, you can see me in the streets. Seen a nigga teacher fell in love with a priest, and a rush for the bread like we ain't got yeast. Put studs on my garment, now I'm late to the feast. I'm a One West nigga, you can check the receipts. Ask me where I'm from, so we came from the
deprived
east.
of my innocence by shit I was exposed to. Everything I did I was supposed to. Suppose you was poor and living with the heat off. SSI paying bills, mama like how she gon' feed y'all? Couches we go to sleep on, bad water on stoves. Light bill overdue, it get cold, open the stove. Comcast get cut off and cutting it right back on. Noticed it coming home, notices on the door. 30 days till you Vic, U-Hauls, Motel 6. Stay a couple of days, move in with a family friend. Promises for the first to pay you back on the third. Search for another house, they put our shit on the curb. Never uttered a word, came from a broken home. Mama was never there, my pops is a rolling stone. Nothing was ever given, they say you get what you give. Had to go through what I went through, they give you
So
what I
we
lived.
came from the east, had to go to war just for me to find peace. Fuck the police, they got the mark of the beast. I'm on 125th, you can see me in the streets. Seen a nigga teacher fell in love with a priest, and a rush for the bread like we ain't got yeast. Put studs on my garment, now I'm late to the feast. I'm a One West nigga, you can check the receipts. Ask me where I'm from, so we came from the east.
Now I'm downtown Oakland, I'm just holding posts. I'ma do this shit forever, cause it's all I know. Yeah, I'm in this shit deep, I gotta hold my nose. Went and put on all black, yeah, I joined the code. At the table with wise men, I'm just taking notes. Fuck the beast, kill the body, but can't kill the soul. Get with your brothers, never leave and never break that oath. Hardest thing to do is go to him alone. Build a zone, put my brick in like Craig did. UPK, look, I'm airy where the reds is. Same serpent in the garden, they just shed skin. Gotta go to war to find peace, yeah, that's real shit. I seen the Lord take a spirit from men, and without this brotherhood, I end up like them. Look, there's wisdom behind these battle scars. Circle small, cause ain't no telling what these cowards
So
on.
we came from the east, had to go to war just for me to find peace. Fuck the police, they got the mark of the beast. I'm on 125th, you can see me in the streets. Seen a nigga teacher fell in love with a priest, and a rush for the bread like we ain't got yeast. Put studs on my garment, now I'm late to the feast. I'm a One West nigga, you can check the receipts. Ask me where I'm from, so we came from the east.
Leviticus 20 and 26, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people. God severed you, black man, from other people. You got no business joining the white man. You was brought here for slavery, now time slavery is up. You supposed to be in the ghetto helping black people. You supposed to be getting them off of drugs, stopping the crime, re-educating them. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Instead, you a jungle monkey for the white man. You march down 6th Street begging the white man for your own civil rights.
Came from the east.
White man hijacked your civil rights movement. You running down 6th Street begging him to be part of it. When God said, I separated you from other people, man. Why you think black people don't love
What about now? Still nothing. Testing. Oh. Okay. So log in. I know y'all probably can't read lips. But once again, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General YAHANNA. Hey man, get a Lord a hand. So like it, man, for the technical difficulties. Like I said, I'm not as tech savvy as I thought I was. Trying to work this program and get this system right. You know, but listen, we here. We got it right working now. So the title of the class is Juneteenth. Is the latest gift to destroy the heart. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Give me, I think it's Ecclesiastes 7, I think in 7. Is that it? Yeah. Somebody give me Ecclesiastes 7:7. Read when you get it.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
A gift does what to the heart?
Destroyeth the heart.
So now, number one, right? Kind of like 1 West 101. They see us in the corners. We're angry. You know, or we appear to be angry. Any black man that shows some passion or some masculinity, they want to categorize as anger. No sweat, we'll be angry. But the scriptures say that read it again at the beginning.
Khan. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression. And if I don't know where you've been. This is 2024. I don't know where you've been. Niggas in the ghetto are oppressed. You understand? Mexicans in the ghettos are oppressed. Native Americans in the ghettos are oppressed. So if you're not angry, then maybe you're not wise. And here in the Israelite School of UPK, Commander YAHANNA raised nothing but wise men. Men that care about their people. They care about the plight of their people. So you see us in the corners, you see this aggression, you see this passion for our people and our people only, and they miscategorize it as anger. But we're not angry just to be angry. We're angry because we see what's going on. We see how America plays in your face, and you don't. You're not angry. Why? Because maybe you're enjoying the Juneteenth weekend. Is that a thing now? Like the Juneteenth weekend? Like I think 3 years ago they announced that Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. Give it a hand. Federal holiday. Okay. Now let me ask you this. How many of y'all got federal jobs? Not many of you. So what's the difference between Juneteenth being off and 4th of July being off? You still got to work. So Juneteenth is supposed to be celebrating the commemoration to the ending of slavery, yet you're at your slavery on Juneteenth. Here's a way to make Juneteenth work. All white people go to work, all black people stay home. If you really want to make it work, right. If you really want to make the holiday mean something, but they don't. This is just another ploy of them saying, look, this is equality. Look, you have your own independence. Look, we made this a holiday. Reparations now, hey, let's not get crazy. But take this holiday, nigga, take this payday off. Y'all niggas like the barbecue, right? Take this payday off. So what we're going to do today, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into what Juneteenth is and how it's the latest gift to destroy the heart. We're going to bring out an article. You got that, brother? Read that.
What is Juneteenth? History Channel, select it, www.history.com. Juneteenth, short for June 19th, marks the day when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people be free.
Read that part again. That what? All what?
ensure that all enslaved people be freed.
So now, if I could just give a little breakdown of this, right? My brothers and sisters up north, many of them haven't even heard of this. You understand? Because this is not something that was put in by design. Juneteenth marks the day that the South, or in Houston, or in Galveston, Texas, received the word that they were freed. Because supposedly what freed us was the Emancipation Proclamation. So if the Emancipation Proclamation freed us, why do we have Juneteenth? Because a whole 2.5, maybe some argue 2, some say 2.5 years later, they found out in Galveston that they were indeed free. So hold on to that, brother, and pull that next article I got for you.
Khan. This is the fourth debate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, wait. Read the top part.
Khan. Mr. Lincoln's speech.
Mm-hmm.
September 18, 1858.
Okay, now this is September 18th, 1858. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't know much about American history, and that's good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just give you a little backdrop. And I believe, okay, no, this ain't the one. But a little backdrop, right? Lincoln is getting ready to run for president. So he's having a debate with, I forgot the man's name, something Douglas. And this is the fourth debate that took place. I want to say it was in Chicago. It was in Illinois. Charleston, Illinois.
Fourth debate.
For the
Charleston,
fourth debate.
Illinois.
So now this is in
1858.
All right, now read what you got. Read the highlighted parts. We don't want to go through all of it.
Khan. While I was at the hotel today, an elderly gentleman called upon me to know whether I was really in favor of producing a perfect equality between the Negroes and white people.
All right, now read this next one. Read the next part.
Great laughter.
You say what?
Great laughter.
Now, okay, maybe to set the tone a little bit more, read up above Mr. Lincoln's speech real quick. I didn't highlight it, but read right above it.
Khan. It's like, what's it, ladies and gentlemen?
No, hold on. Let me tell you where it's at. Hold on. No, it's right under the date, under the September 18th.
Oh, Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Even railroad.
No, read it again.
So like September 18th, 1858.
Mm-hmm.
Even railroad
11.
cars.
That's 11.
Slovakia.
Mm-hmm.
11 railroad cars of people from Indiana were among the approximately 12,000 in attendance.
Now, this is the fourth debate between these brothers, these devils in Charleston, Illinois. 12,000 people are in attendance. Now go back and read that part I told you about.
Khan. While I was at the hotel today, an elderly gentleman called upon me to know whether I was really in favor of producing a perfect equality between the Negroes and white people.
Mm-hmm.
Great laughter.
They say, what kind of laughter?
Great laughter.
Great laughter. Mind you, it's 1858. 12,000 wholesome, good white folk. You know, Christians, Protestants, Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the Baptist church was started yet, but name any of them. Catholics, 12,000 of them. Mormons. You know what I'm saying? Christian. I'm talking about good old Christians. You know, they believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, this man just said somebody asked him whether he was in favor of producing a perfect equality between the Negro and white people, and they all laughed. Keep reading.
While I had not proposed to myself on this occasion to say much on that subject.
Stop. Now, this is important. He had to address this because his opponent, Douglas, was going around telling everybody, I mean, for lack of a better term, he's a nigger lover. They was going around saying that this is what he aimed to do. Now, remember, this is a political campaign. So they're throwing mud on each other, essentially, you know, to sway people to vote their way. So he has to address this because these were the rumors that were so-called going around at the time, that he was trying to make the Negro and the white man equal. Keep reading.
Yet, as the question was asked me, I thought I would occupy perhaps 5 minutes and saying something in regard to it.
Now he feels compelled now to speak on it because somebody asked him this question in the lobby. Now go ahead, read the highlights.
I will say then that I am not.
That what?
That I am not.
That what?
That I am not.
And this is Abraham Lincoln, the person who so-called freed the slaves, addressing 12,000 good, wholesome white people. You know, just good. Listen, you would die to be around them. You know what I'm saying? That's just good Christian folk. And he's telling them, hey, I heard y'all, think that I'm trying to make black people and white people equal. So I gotta address it. So the first thing I want to tell you read it again.
I will say then that I am not.
I am not. Keep reading.
Nor ever have been.
Now what?
Nor ever have been.
Listen, this white man is doubling down. Never have I been in favor of this. Keep reading.
In favor of bringing about in any way.
In how many ways?
In any way.
Maybe the smallest thing of equality.
In any way.
In any way. Keep reading.
The social and political equality of the white man, of the white and black races.
Mm-hmm.
Applause.
Read that again.
Applause.
And now he got an applause because he said something heavy. And applause is like white folks' way of saying that's right. You know what I'm saying? Like just a whole bunch of claps, just this their way of saying that's right. You know what I'm saying? So they're in agreement with what he's teaching, what the principles he's standing upon. Keep reading.
That I am not, nor ever have been in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes.
Making what?
Voters or jurors of Negroes.
Uh-huh.
Nor of qualifying them to hold office.
Uh-huh.
Nor to
intermarry.
Nor to intermarry with white people.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, sir.
Yes, I'm on it. Okay, yeah, you go to the next page. But so what he's doing is he's doubling down. He's saying that I don't want them to intermarry. I don't want them to be voters. I don't want them to be jurors. I don't want them to hold any positions in office. You understand what he's saying? Like this is Abe Lincoln. This is honest Abe. You know what I'm saying? Mr. I can't tell a lie. He keeping it real with him. No, I don't love niggas. No, I don't want to marry them. No, I don't want them to be jurors. No, I don't want them to have voting rights. All of the things that y'all told me, he gave us by setting us free. Read the next part, the next highlights.
And inasmuch as they cannot so live,
Mm-hmm.
while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior.
It must be what?
The position of superior and inferior.
There must be a position. Not it should be. Not, hey, what do y'all think about this? He's telling them it must be a position of superior and inferior. This is what we've been teaching. We've been teaching this. We've been telling you when blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans get into any of these societies, there becomes a duality, a superior and an inferior. You get into Christianity, you're the inferior Christian. You're the inferior. You're the Christian that was enslaved, praying to God to free you out of slavery. They're the Christian that's in charge, trying to convince the president to keep you in slavery. There has to be a superior and an inferior. In anything you do, you go to Islam. Do you think those Muslims over there in the East respect Malcolm X? Respect Elijah Muhammad? Respect Farrakhan? You believe that? Yeah, the Muslims over here, y'all are a jailhouse religion. Niggas go to jail and become Muslim for protection. That's it. Now you got some of the biggest, youngest rappers, out here being Muslim. Like what I think, like Dirk. Dirk's a Muslim. A few other brothers in Chicago Muslims. Tank that. No, somebody. Kevin Gates Muslim, but somebody else big just became some. Was it Is it Lil Jon? Yeah. Lil Jon just became Muslim. Yeah. So he come up on crunk juice. You know what I'm saying? And preaching to y'all to excuse my language, fuck all these niggas in this club. Go ahead. Oh yeah, ski.
Right.
Yeah, he's ski.
And what's crazy about Kevin Gates is he say he Muslim now, but he also claims his Taino traits.
Good,
you know what I'm saying? He was wearing feathers and saying that he was a native Indian for a while, but now he wearing what they call them, kufis or oven mitts.
I'll do you one better, right? The man that the Purple Pigs, Kyrie Irving's personal army, you know what I'm saying? Their Lord and Savior, Kyrie Irving, because he said, we know who we are, right? He's Muslim. Celebrating Ramadan. Now now Kyrie they may respect. You know what I'm saying? He got some money. They may respect him. But your Uncle Elroy, they don't respect this nigga. Lincoln said, if we're gonna all live together, there has to be a superior and an inferior. Keep reading.
And I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position.
Wait. Read it again, brother. Let's read that again.
And I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race.
Assigned to what race?
The white race.
So now this is your president, Abe Lincoln, your founding father of American, ideas and principles. You know what I'm saying? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All this, he embodies all of that. Yet he's talking amongst 12,000 constituents, telling them, I heard the rumors about me loving niggas. I'm here to deny them. I'm a big stepper for white supremacy. That's what he's saying. He said, I as well as any man. Anybody that knows public speaking one-on-one, you have even when we do it. We go out there, we don't talk to them in third person. We talk to all people. We talk about how we gotta do better. Right. We gotta get off drugs. We gotta get out these churches. We gotta stop prostituting. We don't ever say you gotta do this and you gotta do that. He's doing the same thing. He's galvanizing his audience and he's reassuring them that he's the president you should vote for. You don't have to worry about some nigga being eye to eye with you or shoulder to shoulder with you or 50-50 with you or even equal to you, because I, as well as anybody else in here, I take the position of the white man being a superior race. Keep reading.
Khan. I will add to this.
He would do what?
I will add to this.
He's not even done. If this ain't heavy enough, keep reading.
That I have never seen, to my knowledge, a man, woman, or child who was in favor of producing a perfect equality, social and political, between Negroes and white men.
You hear that? He said, me nor anybody I've ever known. What is he saying? None of my boys are nigga lovers. None of the people I hang around want to be equal with niggas. Remember, he didn't even want to address this. Wasn't even on the talking points. He said he was at the hotel and somebody just asked him, "Hey, aren't you that one that's trying to be equal to niggas?" So he had to come here in front of 12,000 people and address this rumor. And he stood 10 toes down on white supremacy. Is any more on that? Okay, so now that's 1858. Yeah, 1858. Now let's go to bring the next one.
Emancipation Proclamation.
No. Oh, no, not yet. I believe it's the one from the American history. Yeah, you got that one? Read that.
This is the address on colonization to a committee of colored men.
So now, what year is this?
August 14th, 1862.
So now this is 4 years later. Remember, was it January 18th, 1858? You ain't gotta go check. It's somewhere. It was 1858. He's addressing 12,000 white people. Now this is the address on colonization to a committee of colored men. Now he's talking to the niggas. Now General Hyman brought this out the other day in class, so I don't want to go through everything he brought out, but I did want to highlight something that was said in there. You got that?
Khan.
Go ahead.
The president.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps you have long been free,
Uh-huh.
or all your lives. Your race are suffering. In my judgment, the greatest wrong inflicted on any people.
The what?
The greatest wrong inflicted on any people.
The greatest wrong inflicted on any people. This is honest Abe. He can't tell a lie. Go ahead, Up.
So, like, if I could, so this is clearly his words are smooth as butter.
brother. Yeah. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Keep reading.
Khan. But even when you cease to be slaves, you are yet far removed from being placed on an equality with the white race.
Now, this is what he's telling these black people. Read it again.
Khan, the president.
No. The even when you cease.
Khan. But even when you cease to be slaves, you are yet far removed from being placed on an equality with the white race.
So let me ask you a question. Why didn't he say you would be far removed from being equal to me? Because he clearly believes that. We just read it. He clearly believes that niggas will never be equal to white people. That him and not anytime, any place, anywhere in his history, anybody he's hung around, none of them advocated for black people to be equal with white people. But then he gets in front of black people and he says, you won't be, you're far from it, from being equal to white men. Not you niggas are far from being equal to me. He's a charlatan. Just like your Christian pastors, just like your imams, just like any other politician that's looking to get a vote. Keep reading.
Khan, you are cut off from many of the advantages.
You are what?
You are cut off from many of the advantages which the other race enjoy.
Now, you are cut off from any of the advantages that the other race enjoy. Damn, doesn't that sound like 2024? We're back in the 1860s. We haven't even been freed yet. We haven't even been freed yet, and he's telling you you've been cut off from all the advantages that the other races get. And here we are in 2024 talking about let's go march. And why are we marching? Because we're cut off from the advantages that all the other races get. 200 years, 160 years later, what's changed? Nothing's changed. Keep reading.
Khan, the aspiration of men is to enjoy equality with the best when free. But on this broad continent.
But what?
But on this broad continent.
Now, hold on. Okay, so now you gotta put yourself back there. Put yourself in some hut. Know what I'm saying? Raggedy clothes on. You know, cousins have been mauled by pit bulls. The wife been shipped. The husband been shipped out. Know what I'm saying? Like you're a woman. Like you're getting raped every night by the slave masters. And you're sitting here listening to this man that's the president of the United States that you're a part of, that has you in slavery. And he's telling you the aspiration of men is to enjoy equality the best when free. He's telling you that's the inspiration of men. Read it again, Art.
Khan. The aspiration of men is to enjoy equality with the best when free. But on this broad continent. But on this broad continent, not a single man of your race is made the equal of a single man of ours.
You hear that? Do you hear that? It's the inspiration of any man to be the best when free. But on this broad continent, none of you, not one single man is equal to the white man. Now I don't know how much of history y'all know, but every black man wasn't a slave here. There were free men of color. There were. And guess what? Although you were free, you still were not equal to a white man. Is any more on that?
Kind of kind.
Keep going.
Go where you are treated the best.
Go where?
Where you are treated the best.
Uh-huh.
And the ban is still upon you.
Now, General Hyman brought this out. This was Lincoln trying to get you to essentially go back to Africa. This was the first go back to Africa campaign. You know how they always say, well, y'all don't like being here. Y'all don't like the policies. Y'all don't like the presidents. Y'all don't like the political race. Why don't you go back to Africa? This is Lincoln saying that right here. These ideals aren't new. He said it 160 years ago. He just said it a lot nicer. Like, look, I know, you're a man, and all men aspire to be free and be the best when free. All of us, all of you guys. But listen, on this broad continent, nigga, it'll never happen. Never. It'll never happen. So why don't you go somewhere where it could be? Where it could happen? Any more on that? Okay, so now this is 18, I believe, 62, right? Now, bring me to the Emancipation Proclamation. Let's go there. Oh, go ahead, sis. Wait. No, it ain't on.
I don't know if it's wrong. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. And I've Googled this a few times. For black people to catch up to race, our oppressor, it'll take 228 years. They have to stop making money, like today, for us to even 228 years for us to catch. We will never be equal.
Never.
Never.
The racial wealth gap is, get that sister Hagen. What she said is absolutely true. The racial wealth gap between blacks and whites is it's not even fathomable for you to do it. In order for the black race to catch up to the white race, the Black Panther need to give us all that goddamn, what was the stuff they got over there? Vibranium. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take all the goddamn vibranium from Wakanda for us to even catch up to these niggas. That's how far, and listen, Wakanda isn't even a real place. So we're not even talking about something that's really real, that's practical. Go ahead.
So like if I may, so with that being said, that means even if they did give us reparations, they'd still be in the lead.
I can give each and every one of us what is it again? I don't even know. I can't even say the word. It's not even in my vocabulary. It's not even an option. But a whatever the hell you just said, the money. No. And what's even now, and it's a different subject. Maybe we'll talk about it one of these classes. But like reparations is small. It won't even put a dent in their pockets to give us reparations. As a matter of fact, this is why we got Juneteenth, because they didn't want to give us reparations. They had a meeting to discuss whether or not we should even put reparations on the table. Know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't say, hey, reparations is on the table, let's discuss it. They say, let's see if we should come together to discuss it. Think they did that? No. You know what they did do, though? They gave you niggas another holiday to barbecue. That's what they did. They made Juneteenth a federal holiday. And you know niggas love their barbecues. Listen, they probably tell, well, they barbecue for 4th of July. Of course they'll barbecue to celebrate their own freedom. That's what you get. You don't get the blessing. You get the gift that destroyed the heart. Go ahead, Art.
Con, just to add on, like as a race or as a nation, like we still not represented in the G18 summit. Like every race on the planet has a seat at a table that discuss, world affairs. Like blacks or so-called African Americans, like we don't have a seat at all.
Give that brother a hand. Give that brother. That is absolutely true. those GA, I think like G18 conventions. That's United Nations. Well, black people, we're American. So that person that sits up there that represents America, they talking about you. This is you voting. This is you putting in office. This is your politicians are putting in office. You don't have anything here to represent your interests. Because at the end of the day, you're American. And America is built on what Abe Lincoln just said. You will never be equal. Maybe you should go somewhere where you'll be equal. Notice he didn't say where, though. Know that? You know, everybody telling us to go back, but nobody's saying go where. It's a reason why they don't want you to know where you're going. We're going to get to that, too. You got that?
Emancipation.
Yeah, read that.
Khan. The Emancipation Proclamation. The Emancipation Proclamation issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, had established that all enslaved people in Confederate states in rebellion against the Union shall be thenceforward and forever free.
Now, I need y'all to listen to the language. Read it one more time.
The Emancipation Proclamation issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863.
Stop. Now, right there. Remember, he addressed all the white folk in January, I think, 1858. 4 years later, he addressed all the colored folk. 1862. Now, here's the thing. Now, the thing he's been warming up to. The Emancipation Proclamation. 1863. Keep reading.
Had established that all enslaved people in Confederate states in rebellion against the Union.
Okay, now wait right there. All enslaved people in Confederate states in rebellion against the Union. That sounds mighty specific. Like if somebody came out there and said, I ain't gonna rob none of the niggas that's cool with rum. All the niggas that's cool with rum are safe from being robbed. What about the ones who are not cool with rum? They might be subject to being stuck up. The Confederate States in rebellion against the Union. Keep reading.
Shall be thenceforward and forever free.
So now they will be free. It didn't say all black people will be free. It says the ones in Confederate States that's in rebellion against the Union, they will be free. You got something you want to say? Oh. The ones that's in rebellion. It's some more on that? Read it.
But in reality.
But what?
But in reality.
Keep reading.
The Emancipation Proclamation didn't instantly free any enslaved people.
God damn. You hear that? The Emancipation Proclamation didn't free anybody. Anybody. Now, evident of it is, Juneteenth, 2 years later. You know what I'm saying? But the Emancipation Proclamation didn't do nothing. But in reality, it didn't free anybody. Keep reading.
The proclamation only applied to places under Confederate control and not to slaveholding border states or rebel areas already under Union control.
Didn't I just say that? Didn't we just establish that? It didn't apply to the ones that they were cool with. All the ones that was cool with rum, they were safe from being robbed. But if Young Metro didn't, I'm gonna shoot you. So you better get Metro to trust you. All those that Metro trust are safe, but the ones he don't trust, getting shot. So the Emancipation Proclamation didn't free anybody. Nobody. Read that part again. But in reality,
But in reality, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't instantly free any enslaved people. The proclamation only applied to places under Confederate control and not to slaveholding border states or rebel areas already under Union control.
You hear that? So if you were a state that sided with the Union, then your slaves were still legal. Your plantations were still in the green. Like your way of life, your culture, your custom is still good. We're not talking about you. Yeah, man, we finna free all the slaves. What about my niggas? Who you with? I'm with Rum. Nah, your niggas is good. They yours. But everybody that Rum don't mess with, we freeing all your slaves. This is your government. This is your people. These are the people that you say our ancestors died to vote. How will we die to do something that Abe Lincoln said he don't want us to do? The man that orchestrated the Emancipation Proclamation said, I'm not looking for them to be voters. I'm not looking for them to be jurors, hold any positions of power, or even be equal at all. But you think this is what our ancestors died for? You think right now when these slaves heard that, they said, let's die for the right to vote. I don't think voting was that high on the list. Surviving, living, not being beaten half to death and raped and tortured, lynched and hung, and what's that word that Hannibal Lecter used? Was it disemboweled? Yeah. They try not to get those things done to them. I don't think they really cared about who was running for president. I don't think they cared about who was in City Hall. I think they cared about not being murdered. Anything more on that?
Nah, sir.
Okay, so let's go. Now, I want y'all to follow me. Remember, we started in 1858. Then we went to 1862. Now, this is 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation. Now we're here at 1865 for the right. So let's get to that. Remember, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't free anybody. That was January 1st, 1863. Now read what you got.
The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. The 13th Amendment was this is an article on the National Geographic website. The 13th Amendment was the first amendment to the United States Constitution during the period of Reconstruction.
Wait. Okay. Read right up on the title.
Oh, Salakia.
I know it ain't highlighted, but yeah.
The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery in the United States.
Read that again.
The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery in the United States.
Now, I thought the Emancipation Proclamation abolished slavery. So why are we celebrating that if it didn't? Why we're not celebrating the 13th Amendment? Because read it again.
The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution abolished slavery in the United States.
How many people knew that? How many people knew that it was the 13th Amendment that ended slavery, not the Emancipation Proclamation? You got to look at the people who telling the history and the motives of what they're telling. You know what I'm saying? The reasoning for why they're telling you that way. Because his words were smooth as butter. They smooth. Listen, it sounds good. Emancipation Proclamation, man. Hey, man, all y'all is free now. Go ahead.
I don't even really remember them doubling down on that when I took the Constitution test. I don't remember them going over that.
Never. They don't talk about that. They changed. Okay, I don't know if how many of y'all are familiar with Third Ward. There's a street, McGowan in Dowling, used to be called Dowling. I think Emancipation Park it sits on Dowling Street. I think Dowling and like Blodgett or something. Now Dowling, if I'm not mistaken, was a Confederate soldier or war general or something like that. So they changed the name of the street Dowling and named it Emancipation. Now, we just read that Emancipation Proclamation didn't do a damn thing. So why didn't they name this street the 13th Amendment? Know what I'm saying? Like, where you at, nigga? I'm gonna come on the 13th Amendment in Blodgett. And come pick me up, man. I'm on 13th Amendment in Live Oak. Because that's where they abolished it. We're reading it right here. Now read the highlight parts.
Con. The 13th Amendment was the first amendment to the United States Constitution during the period of Reconstruction. The amendment was ratified on December 6, 1865.
Read that again.
The amendment was ratified on December 6, 1865.
Okay, then stop. Now I want y'all to. I'm bringing these dates out for a reason. We got January 18th, I think 1858 for the first address of the fourth battle or whatever they call it, debate with Douglas. Then we had 62 when he talked to the colored people, and then we had 63 with the Emancipation Proclamation. Now we have December 6, 1865 for the 13th Amendment, the thing that really abolished slavery. Keep reading.
And ended the argument about whether slavery was legal in the United States.
Whether slavery was what?
Was legal in the United States.
Keep reading.
The amendment reads, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime.
Read that part again.
Except as a punishment for crime.
Read that part again.
Except as a punishment for crime.
Stop. So now they're not saying slavery is illegal. They're saying it's only illegal if you don't use it as punishment for a crime. Any other form of slavery is absolutely illegal. But if they're a criminal, it's now legal. Read that part again.
Khan. The amendment reads, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted.
The party shall have been what?
Have been duly convicted.
Have been what?
Have been duly convicted.
Okay, okay. So let me get something real quick. Let me add something to this. I'm gonna see if it's gonna let me do it. Duly convicted. Okay, so duly convicted. This is from the internet. This is just Google. I want to read this definition. Firstly, let's define duly convicted. The term typically means that a person has been found guilty of a crime by a competent court through a lawful process. Read that part again.
Khan. The amendment reads, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted.
Now, duly is in accordance with what is required or appropriate, following proper procedure or arrangement. Keep reading.
Shall exist when within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
Okay, any more? Okay. Do you have the 13th Amendment was necessary? Yeah, is he highlighted?
I remember you.
Okay, yeah, read that.
Khan. The 13th Amendment was necessary because the Emancipation Proclamation issued by President Abraham in January of 1863 did not end slavery entirely.
Read that again, Art. Read that again.
The 13th Amendment was necessary because the Emancipation Proclamation issued by President Abraham Lincoln in January of 1863 did not end slavery entirely.
Did you hear that? They just said, and we've read this, they're doubling down. The 13th Amendment was necessary because the Emancipation Proclamation did nothing. It didn't do nothing for black people. It didn't do nothing for enslaved people at all. Nothing. So they needed something to actually do something for it, to actually end slavery. And what they said was, except as a punishment for a crime, whereas you've been duly convicted. Keep reading now.
Kind. Those enslaved in border states had not been.
I know, I stayed with it like that. It's a lot again.
Had not been free.
Had not been what?
Had not been free.
You hear that? Do you hear that? All this freedom they're telling us we need to talk about. All this freedom we're supposed to be going over. Juneteenth, the global celebration for freedom. All of that. We reading it right here. They didn't do anything. Anything at all. Is something else on that?
It's like it says a little bit more.
Go ahead. Is it highlighted?
Sir.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, now bear with me because I know there's a lot to go through, but I want to show you something. Now, get me the next one. I think it's the Jim Crow. Give me that.
Jim Crow law.
Wait. Was that next already, or it was something else before?
It was next.
It was okay. Go there.
The highlighted part is black co-eds. I mean, it's like your black codes.
Yeah.
Black
Read
codes.
that. Tell them where you're reading from.
Jim Crow laws. The history. www.history.com. Black codes. The roots of Jim Crow laws began as early as 1865.
As early as what?
1865.
God damn. Keep reading.
Immediately following the ratification of the 13th Amendment.
Wait, how soon?
Immediately following the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery in the United States.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? This is America. This is it right here. Immediately after the 13th Amendment, Jim Crow laws came about. Immediately. Wait till you see the date. I'm too up. Go ahead. You got some more on that?
Go
ahead.
Black codes were strict local and state laws that detailed when, where, and how formerly enslaved people could work and for how much compensation. The codes appeared throughout the South as a legal way to put black citizens into indentured servitude.
You hear that? They said they came up with laws that when they duly convict you, you can go back to being a slave. You can go right back to being a slave that the 13th Amendment just freed you from. So now imagine some nigga that's like, we freed? Yes. Man, I'm finna hang out. That's what y'all boy doing, man. Let's go ride some horses. And then they come around and say, because remember, this says strict local and state laws. If you know anything about the law system and legislation, what's legal locally may not be legal statewise. What's legal statewise might not be legal federally. Hence, marijuana usage. States don't prosecute it, but it's still a federal crime to sell weed. So now these local crimes. So now you and your nigga free. You know what I'm saying? Y'all came up, snuck a few horses from the ranch. You know what I'm saying? From Mr. Candy. Now y'all just, hooking it down the street road, whatever the hell it was. And they come up and say, hey, there's a rule we got, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 naggers and 4 nags. Yeah, the rule is any naggers over 3 naggers and 4 horses, 3 horses. Yeah, man, that's a felony. So now you done roll through this local county, and their local law says 3 or more niggas on a nag is a crime. So now you go back to jail after being duly convicted, and now you're a goddamn slave all over again. That's your 13th Amendment. Keep reading that.
Kind of kind. As a legal way to put black citizens into indentured servitude, to take voting rights away, to control where they lived and how they traveled, and to seize children for labor purposes.
And to seize children for what?
For labor purposes.
You hear that? What's different than that? What's different from that than today? You go to jail for trumped up charges, they take your kids and put them in CPS. Well, God knows what happened to those children in CPS. Right. Know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about 160 years apart. Doesn't seem like much has changed, huh? Get some more on that?
Kind of kind.
Go ahead.
The legal system was stacked against black citizens.
Read that part again.
The legal system was stacked against black citizens.
Read it again.
The legal system was stacked against black citizens.
So now the 13th Amendment say that slavery and involuntary servitude is illegal, except for punishment of a crime in which you've been duly convicted. Read that part again.
The legal system was stacked against black citizens.
You hear that? So now they're stacking the deck against you so they can turn you right back into a goddamn slave. And this happened when? Immediately after the 13th Amendment was ratified. Immediately. Not 6 years, not a decade, not 20 years later. Immediately. It happened. Keep reading.
With former Confederate soldiers working as police and judges.
With what?
Former Confederate soldiers working as police and judges.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Former police.
Oh, okay, shoot.
Let's get up there. Let me see. That's it. Former police and judges. Well, read it again. Former what?
Former Confederate soldiers.
Sit down, mama.
Working as police and judges.
Former Confederate soldiers. Now remember, they the ones that lost their slaves. They the ones that had a whole industry going. Know what I'm saying? A whole routine going. Making money. Free labor. Come get her. Cause she over messing with stuff. No, you gotta get down. Bye-bye. Know what I'm saying? Now, you went from owning 1,000 niggas to now you don't have any niggas to own. Cotton ain't being picked. Horses ain't getting fed. Clothes ain't being made. Farm ain't being tended to. So now now they tell you you can be a police officer and a judge. So you can make up a law, tell them that they broke it, send them to court to get duly convicted, and the judge is convicting you. And go ahead. Give him the mic. Give him the mic.
So, like it, sir, that's probably where the term judge, jury, and executioner come from. They was all three in one.
That's exactly what it is. That's what that concept was.
Right.
Because they got like police today, right? They got the power to pull you over. They got the power to confine you. And then if you run, well, we've seen that they got the power to kill you. Right. Running doesn't mean you're guilty. Right. According to the United States, a person is innocent until proven guilty duly. Right. Duly. In a competent court, a fair and appropriate and proper procedure has been taking place in this court. That's what it's supposed to be. But we're seeing that former Confederate soldiers are now cops and judges. Keep reading.
Kind. Making it difficult.
Making it what?
Making it difficult for African Americans to win court cases. And ensuring they were subject to black codes.
See that? I'm sure it did make it a little difficult. I mean, I used to be enslaved to this sheriff, and on the weekends I would go to this judge's house on the commands of this sheriff and pick his cotton. And now I done got arrested because they told me in this county niggas can't ride horses, you gotta walk them, and I didn't know. So now I go into a jury that is not of my peers, arrested by the officer that used to be a soldier, and a judge that used to hate, well, I don't want to say used to hate niggas, they still do, but that was possibly over a plantation. Thank you, 13th Amendment. Thank you. I mean, you did free us, right? You did free. I mean, you tried. Lincoln tried. I mean, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't do anything. Okay, well, listen, 13th Amendment. It freed all the slaves, except the ones who have been deemed criminals. And immediately after that, Jim Crow. Some more on that? Keep reading.
These codes worked in conjunction with labor camps for the incarcerated.
They did what?
Worked in conjunction with labor camps for the incarcerated, where prisoners were treated as enslaved people.
Where prisoners were what?
Were treated as enslaved people.
You hear that? Sounds like slavery to me. Sounds like the 13th Amendment was just freedom on paper. That's it. Paper freedom. That's it. Because once you went to, court by a jury of someone that doesn't look like your peers, they convict you of a crime, send you back to the plantation, and read the last part again.
Were treated as enslaved people.
Keep reading that.
Black offenders typically received longer sentences than their white equals.
Read it again.
Black offenders typically received longer sentences than their white equals.
Is this the 1860s or 2024? Is this the 18th century or is this the 21st century we're reading about? Read it again.
Black offenders typically received longer sentences than their white equals.
So, go ahead, sis.
But it's crazy because they just said that we'll never be equal to them, but it says that white equals. Like what? So we equal when it comes to crime, but we still get the longer sentence.
Give it a hand. It's the goddamn truth. It's the truth. Keep reading.
And because of the grueling work, often did not live out their entire sentence.
Read that part again.
And because of the grueling work, often did not live out their entire sentence.
They worked your ass to death. You got freed in January, died in jail slavery in February. That's the life of a Negro. That's the life. And guess what? All of it's legal. There's nobody to sue. There's no reparations to be paid. There's no justice to seek. It's lawful. No, he wasn't a slave. See, what happened was this nigga didn't know the law. And then we put him in front of the jury. The jury found him guilty. And under the sentencing guidelines, the judge gave him exactly what can be given. And then we just worked him in jail like the 13th Amendment said we could. And he died. Clear-cut case. Any more on that? Okay, now, give me the next one. Just bear with me. We're going down. We're going in order. This one right here is the one. This one right here is the one that blew my mind. And when you get that, I want you to read the top. I'm gonna read something first though before you read that. Okay, here we go. Let me know when you're ready.
Con, sir. This day in history.
One second. Let me see. Yeah, when I was locked up, they tell you are property of DOC and have no rights. They had a DOC corporation where all people enslaved away for. Oh, okay. In fact, he's making clothes for little. Good night. Get that brother a hand. I.S.U.P.K, Connecticut. Damn right. And listen, they even do it. So I don't know if y'all remember a few years ago there was a wildfire in Cali. horrible wildfire. And they had a bunch of inmates fighting these fires. Now, these people were dying, fighting fire. These felons were dying fighting these fires, right? Came out of jail. Think they let them be firemen? Couldn't be a fireman. Yet while you're enslaved, while you're in jail, you can fight fires. You're in jail, you can be a cook. You're in jail, you can be a student. You're in jail, you can be a firefighter. You're in jail, you can be a trustee. Get out of jail, can't be none of them. None of them. And they paid these brothers $1 a day fighting these fires. $1. Like what is the price of a life of a Negro? $1 fighting fires? Now you ask yourself, would you rather die fighting a fire or die getting shanked in jail? I mean, either way, what is the damn difference? Read what you got out.
Wakan. This day in history. www.history.com.
Mm-hmm.
December 24th.
What day again?
December 24th.
Read it again.
December 24th.
Read it again.
December 24th.
What year?
1865.
Stop. I'm going to see who's been paying attention about these dates. You got something? Get on the mic. Got something you want to say, sis?
The 13th Amendment was established December the 6th?
The 6th.
So literally weeks later. Good night.
18 days later. The 13th Amendment, the amendment was ratified on December 6th, 1865, and ended the argument about whether slavery was legal in the United States. Tell these people what happened December 24th.
The KKK was founded.
The KKK was what?
Founded.
The KKK was what?
Founded.
Read it again.
December 24th, 1865. KKK founded.
When they say immediately after the 13th Amendment, that's exactly what they meant. Immediately after the 13th Amendment. Read it again.
KKK founded.
Keep reading that.
In Pulaski, Tennessee, a group of Confederate veterans convenes to form a secret society that they christened the Ku Klux Klan. The KKK rapidly grew from a secret social fraternity to a paramilitary force bent on reversing the federal government's progressive Reconstruction era activities in the South, especially policies that elevated the rights of the local black population.
You hear that? So now, immediately after the 13th Amendment was ratified December 6th, 18 days later, they founded the KKK. So we went from slaves to a proclamation that didn't do a damn thing to the 13th Amendment doing something, and then the KKK came, along with Jim Crow laws, that if you were a criminal, you can be put back into slavery. This is America. This is Juneteenth. This is the gift that they're telling us that look how far we've come. Look how good America has been to you. And if you got a problem with what America has given you, why don't you go back to Africa? That's what Abe Lincoln said too. Keep reading now.
Wakan. Founded in 1865, the Ku Klux Klan extended into almost every southern state by 1870 and became a vehicle for white Southern resistance to the Republican Party's
Stop. White Southern resistance to what party?
To the Republican Party's.
So now, all you niggas is into politics. All you niggas for Trump. All you niggas for Biden. Abe Lincoln was a democratically elected president. Salaki, no, I'm saying that wrong. He was a Republican Party president. He freed the slaves, the Republicans. Trump's a Republican. What's that black lady that everybody hate?
Kamala Harris.
Stacy something. She ain't black. Stacy something. Well, no, not Stacy. What's her name? Oh, what's her name, man? She famous for siding with Trump. I can't think of her name right now. I can't think of her name. Somebody in the audience might know it. No, not Condoleezza. It's not. It's on the tip of my tongue. I cannot think of this lady's name. But anyway, she's famous for siding with the Republican side. She's against Democrats. Well, the KKK became a vehicle for. Hold on, I think I'm getting the answer. Oh, Stacey Dash, it was her. Oh no, it was Candace Owens. Candace Owens, famous black Republican. Well, guess what? The Republican Party freed the slaves. Read that part again about what they was doing. They became a vehicle for what?
Khan. The Ku Klux Klan extended into almost every southern state by 1870 and became a vehicle for white southern resistance to the Republican Party's Reconstruction era.
Hold on, something. Okay, wait. Something had happened. I think we're good now. Go ahead.
The Ku Klux Klan extended into almost every southern state by 1870 and became a vehicle for white southern resistance to the Republican Party's Reconstruction era policies aimed at establishing political and economic equality for black Americans.
Okay, so now you got the KKK immediately after the 13th Amendment working overtime to stop all this equality that niggas were supposed to be getting. The Abe Lincoln didn't even provide. They didn't even provide it. We didn't have any rights. We didn't have any liberties. The 13th Amendment, you right back in jail and being a goddamn slave again. And here come the KKK for the ones that slipping by. That's what they targeting. Some more on that? Read it.
Though Congress passed legislation designed to curb Klan terrorism, the organization saw its primary goal, the reestablishment of white supremacy.
The reestablishment of what?
Of white supremacy.
Keep reading.
Fulfilled through democratic victories and state legislators.
You hear that? Read it again.
The reestablishment of white supremacy.
Did you hear that? It said the organization saw its primary goal, the reestablishment of white supremacy, fulfilled through democratic victories. The KKK were Democrats opposing the big bad Republicans. Oh, them nigger-loving Republicans. Oh, no, we got to oppose that. That don't sound like 2024, huh? It sounds like the Democrats are supposed to be the nigger lovers. And Trump is, and the Republicans are the ones that hate niggas. What is that telling you? Republican, Democrat, slave, free, still nigger. Still nigger. You would never be equal to them. Ever. Something else on that? Huh?
Just the rest of the sentence.
No. I want to show something. I want to pull something up that I thought y'all would appreciate. So bear with me. I'm trying to it's my first time using this type of thing. So let me share screen. And we're gonna go to this right here. I'm going to share this and go to 250 right here. Oh, somebody check and make sure. Oh, it is showing. Okay. Let me see. Let me see if it's going to play.
library just to see the town where his father was born was discovery enough.
I can't hear the
especially ahead of Juneteenth, which commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. These days, the country now recognizes officially.
Get the my God. Oh my God. Can y'all hear this? Cause I can't hear it. Yeah, put the Bluetooth back on so I can let me know when I'm good to go. I'm good to go? Bluetooth. What is it? Show Bluetooth device? Right up here.
I'm trying to get the volume.
Why is there so much feedback? Oh, shit. You told me, didn't you? Oh, come on. So, give me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Make sure your device is on the scroll. I gotta play this video. Let me try it again. Add Bluetooth. Make sure the device is turned on. Select the device. Damn. Nah, I ain't click on that. This shit was
unknown device. It should pull up B2312.
I do not see that.
It canceled you.
Cancel. Do I need to you turn it off and on? Let me try that. What about, is it this or is it this? You did this on the first time? Is the thing on the
It says connected to something.
is it connected to somebody's phone on accident? See if you connected to it, y'all. You know?
I'm not connected to it, sir. I'm not on Bluetooth.
I mean, I could turn the mic off. Me and teaching these classes. Okay, I gotta figure out a way to nigga rig it. Let me try one more time.
If you only need the audio from the video, I can stream it with Bluetooth with my phone. You don't get the visual, but you'll get the audio.
You can hold the mic too.
Yeah, I just need to be able to hear it so I know what to stop it. Yeah.
But it won't sync with the video playing on the screen.
The pushback on history and what the country's been going through for the past, I guess, 8 years. Juneteenth was a new day for Black people. a new day for the country because it brought
Turn it
people
up.
closer together.
His nephew doesn't just want to commemorate the past, he at times wants freedom from it.
I wish we just stopped talking about stuff.
Believed to be from 1939. And while they
speaker.
didn't find everything they were looking for at the library, just to see the town where his father was born was discovery enough, especially ahead of Juneteenth, which commemorates the...
Okay, let me go back. I'm good. All right. So Salakia, I'm having some technical difficulties. So let me bring you up to speed real quick. This is a brother. Let me go back to 250. All right. So this brother Wilbur Bell, right? This brother is 83 years old. His father was born months before the Emancipation Proclamation. Remember, we just learned that the Emancipation Proclamation was in 1865. Well, his father was born months before the Emancipation Proclamation. So legally, his father was born into slavery. I didn't say his grandfather. I didn't say his great-grandfather. His father. His father had him at 75 years old. This brother now is 83 years old, and it's him, his sister, and his nephew. So we're about to listen to this interview that he did with CNN when they got a little more deeper into his family. So we're going to play it right now.
And while they didn't find everything they were looking for at the library, just to see the town where his father was born was discovery enough, especially ahead of Juneteenth, which commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. He's happy the country now recognizes the day officially.
With the pushback on history and what the country's been going through for the past, I guess, 8 years, Juneteenth was a new day for Black people, a new day for the country because it brought people closer together.
His nephew doesn't just want to commemorate the past, he at times wants freedom from it.
I wish we just stopped talking about slavery. We can't do anything about it. It was a horrible thing, and to some extent, perhaps we still feel the effects of that. But we can't grow, we can't move forward if we don't let it go.
Wilbur Bell tends to agree.
It's about moving forward, you know.
But he also needed.
Now, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what this brother what he just said? His nephew came and said, although they understand that their father, I think his grandfather, I suppose, but this man's father, they knew he was a slave, born a legal slave. Now they're saying they don't even want to talk about slavery anymore. They say they think we should just let it go because we can't move forward if we keep talking about slavery. Now, I want to pull something real quick. Give me the one about give me that. The water for bearing with me, man. I'm trying to get this down, but read that. Read the title.
Supreme Court guts affirmative act effectively ending race-conscious admissions.
Wait. Read it again. Read it again.
Supreme Court guts affirmative action effectively ending race-conscious admissions.
Now, wait, hold on. I'm going to play this one more time.
We can't do anything about it. It was a horrible thing, and to some extent, perhaps we still feel the effects of that. But we can't grow, we can't move forward if we don't let it go.
Wilbur Bell tends to agree.
It's about moving forward, you know.
But he
now, Mr. Bell, Mr. Wilbur, brother, Vincent, brother. If you out there, you listening, I get you. I mean, who wants to keep talking about slavery? Who wants to keep dwelling on the past? It's about letting go and moving forward. Quick question though. Would they be talking to you if it wasn't about slavery? I think the only reason why he got this interview was because he's one of the last people who are descendants of actual slaves. Like living, like mother and father were actual slaves. So that's the only reason why you're on this interview. Because of slavery. But just like a nigga, you know, and listen, I understand. You know what I'm saying? He get these white folks around, he got this Hulk Hogan mustache. See, I ain't seen it. But he got the Hulk Hogan going for him. Oh, you see what I'm saying? So, brother, listen, I get you. Vincent, listen, I understand y'all. And nobody sympathizes with you more than me. But I want to let you know something. Maybe you hadn't seen this. So we're going to go ahead and just read this little article for you and just shed some light on the forward progress of America that you seem to be longing for. Read that article. Read the title.
Khan. Supreme Court guts affirmative action.
Read it again.
Supreme Court guts affirmative action.
Read it again.
Supreme Court guts affirmative action.
Brother Vincent, Mr. Wilbur, brothers of the struggle, descendants of the slaves. There is no forward to move forward to. Sorry to tell you. Listen, I know you think Easter bunnies are real and Santa Claus is real, and you know we will have equality here in America. But let me tell you something. It's not happening. It's not happening. What year was this? What year was this article written?
June 29th, 2023.
2023. And read that title again.
Supreme Court guts affirmative action. Effectively ending race-conscious admissions.
Now, the Supreme Court just overturned something that's been around for what, 50 years? Affirmative action in Brown versus Board, integration, outlawing segregation. They just repealed it. They just struck it down, or like the title just said, they gutted it. Brother, I think we need to be talking about slavery. I think that's something we shouldn't let go. Because this is what happens when you forget about it. I'm going to show you another black man who has forgotten about it, who is tired of talking about slavery and would like to let it go so we can move forward. Read what you got out.
Khan. Justice Clarence Thomas took the unusual step of reading from the bench parts of his lengthy concurring opinion. Thursday's decision, he wrote, sees the university's admissions policies for what they are. Rudderless, race-based preferences. Those policies fly in the face of our colorblind constitution.
Our what constitution?
Our colorblind constitution.
Now, this brother said our colorblind constitution. And forgive me if this comes off as ignorant, but nigga, what? Nigga, what? Color? Are you kidding me? The Constitution is colorblind. Well, okay, it doesn't have eyes. It's not breathing. It's not a real person. Maybe he's not telling the lie. You got something to say?
The people who wrote it.
The people who wrote it. Hey, and not only the people who wrote it, right? The people who benefited from it. Remember, 1858, Lincoln is giving a speech in front of 12,000 white people. I think they know color when they see it. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? YAHANNA, you tell me, am I wrong about that? I would think them white people can see color just pretty well. You know what I'm saying? I believe they can. No problem, Mr. Clarence Jones. Listen, no, Your Honor. What they call them people? The Honorable? what it is? Some Supreme Court stuff. Your Honor, listen. Maybe you're right. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Read the next judge. Well, is some more highlighted? Read it.
As he has done before.
Uh-huh.
Thomas, the second black.
The second what?
The second black.
The second what?
The second black.
Your Honor, sir, Mister. Your Honor, you are the what? The second what?
The second black.
The second what?
Black.
The second what?
Black. Justice.
Now listen, I know you think the Constitution doesn't see color, but they call you Justice Clarence Thomas the what?
The second black justice.
Uh-huh.
Appointed to the court.
Uh-huh.
Reiterated his long-held view that affirmative action imposes a stigma on minorities.
Mm-hmm.
I hold our enduring hope that this country will live up to its principles.
Mm-hmm.
That all men are created equal,
Mm-hmm.
are equal citizens,
Mm-hmm.
and must be treated equally before the law.
God damn. Did you hear that? Did you just hear what Mr. Your Honorable Judge Clarence said? The second black judge. The Constitution is colorblind. Is this mic on?
Oh shit!
Oh, can they even hear what he?
I gotta say that.
Yeah, you read that again.
Yeah.
Probably can show. You got to read that again. Oh yeah, switch it out. Yeah, we have to read that again now. Salakia. Read, man, just start from the beginning. I don't know if they heard it or not, but we're gonna run it back.
Khan. Justice Clarence Thomas took the unusual step of reading from the bench parts of his lengthy concurring opinion. Thursday's decision, he wrote, sees the university's admissions policies for what they are: butterless, race-based preferences. Those policies fly in the face of our colorblind Constitution.
Here we are in 2023, and we have the second black judge to ever be on the Supreme Court saying that the Constitution is colorblind. No problem. I have no problem with that. I don't think the Constitution, it being a document, right? Paper, right, with ink on it, I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe the paper doesn't have eyes. But the people who signed that motherfucker did. Salakia, excuse my French. But the people who signed that definitely saw color. Definitely were not colorblind. Otherwise, you would just be a Supreme Court justice and not the second black one. Keep reading now.
As he has done before, Thomas, the second black justice.
The second what?
The second black justice.
There goes that B word again. And I don't mean bitch. I don't mean that. Listen, we're not even going there. We're not even talking about that, and that's wrong. But the second B word, read it again.
The second black justice.
The second black justice. Listen, I'm not in office. I'm just a nigga that Commander Gene Hunter raised up to teach the truth. That's it. I'm just a nigga from the ghetto, half educated, that's just trying to make it, not be in the center. So I don't have the degree that you have or the honorable justice, whatever the hell you got. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say these people care about color. I don't know if you've noticed the keep reading. We're gonna get back to it.
The second black justice appointed to this court reiterated his.
Now just drop down. We want to hear what he reiterated. Drop down to the last part he said.
I hold our enduring hope that this country will live up to its principles. That all men are created equal, are equal citizens, and must be treated equally before the law.
Must be treated equally before the law. This is what this black man said. This is what this black judge, who became a judge because of affirmative action. Because of affirmative action is how you got your seat. And you come out here and say that our Constitution is colorblind. So colorblind that there's only been one person that had color in the White House. In the White House, the whole thing. Now, Barack Obama is not a brother, but he is a dark-skinned person. And he's the only Oreo in a sea of white chocolate. And you mean to tell me that these people can't see color out? Justice, Clarence, listen, brother, listen. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. But we're going to find, you know what? Keep lying to yourself. I'm going to prove to you what you're saying is bullcrap. Keep reading now.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Read it again.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
So now, okay, in the UPK, right, we have a structure. Men run things here. As per the Bible. Now, in the Bible, you got prophetess. In the UPK, you got prophetess. So we don't take anything away from our sisters. And sometimes the sisters may make more sense than the men. Here's one of those times we can see in the world where a sister makes a little bit more sense. Read what you got again.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
The
court's first black.
First what?
First black.
First what?
Black.
There go that B word again. And I'm not talking about bitch. First black, Mr. Thomas. Oh, is it Thompson? What's his name? Clarence Thomas? My bad, Your Honor. Your Honorable. Yeah, so in case you don't know, this woman is black. And somebody called her black. And if she's the first black one, somebody has to see that. Just going out on a limb. I don't mean nothing by it. It's just putting two and two together. You know? Keep reading.
First black female justice. Also chimed in. Saying, with let them eat cake obliviousness. Today, the majority pulls the ripcord and announces colorblindness for all by legal fiat.
Listen, okay, because y'all are like real niggas, know what I'm saying, and y'all ain't like really been in a place where you have to be a light-skinned nigger, kind of. Okay, I'm saying this wrong. Okay, let me get my words together. What she just said to him or about this person was a political nigga. What? It was nice nasty. It was like what the now she had. Now this lady had far more grace, and I'm glad she did though because she's talking about her brother. Then the lady who called that lady a bleach blonde, you know, whatever. So now read it again. What she said. With started with
let them eat cake obliviousness. Today, the majority pulls the ripcord and announces colorblindness for all.
Stop. Colorblindness for all. I thought what was your honor, your what's his name? Your honorable Clarence, Mr. Clarence. And Clarence lived at home and both parents had a happy. Y'all know the song. Clarence, you don't understand, Clarence. So sometimes a black woman has to put a nigga in his place. And then what that sister did was right. She stood on business politically, professionally. But she was able to hold her brother accountable. Righteously, reasonably, professionally. Read it again.
With let them eat cake obliviousness. Today, the majority pulls the ripcord and announces colorblindness for all by legal fiat.
The word fiat means decree. So she's saying like he's announcing colorblindness by a legal decree. Keep reading.
But deeming race irrelevant.
Keep reading. No, read it again.
But deeming race irrelevant.
Read it again.
But deeming race irrelevant in law does not make it so in life.
God damn. God, we gotta say this? Your Honorable Clarence. We gotta say this in 2024? The lady just said that a law decree, a legal decree, doesn't make it so in life. Who else said that? Abraham Lincoln. He said it. He said we're going to set them free, but I don't think they should have equality. I don't want them to be judges, Clarence. I don't want them to be jurors. I don't want them to hold any political power. And if we're all going to be here, somebody has to be superior. And I, as well as any man, will have that the superior race be that of the white man. That's what Abraham Lincoln said about your colorblind constitution. Clarence, shame on you. Is there something else on that up? Okay. Shout out to that sister, man. Give that sister a hand, because what she did was absolutely right. That's one West. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Oblivious. Okay, so let us see where we at. Let me see. Bear with me. Oh, here we go. Give me this is for Mr. Clarence. You know what I'm saying? I gotta show my brother some tough love. It's no problem. Maybe you're ignorant to some of these things. Give me justice above all.
Kind of what kind? Justices above all.
Read where it came from first. You see it at the top?
This article.
Okay, it's from the Washington Post. Salakia.
Kind of what kind? From the Washington Post. Fred and Oscar Dial. It's like it. Fred and Oscar Dial were white brothers with a system. They paid the fines of black jailed for minor offenses and pressed them into service on their plantations. They worked the blacks hard, disciplined them harshly, and beat those who resisted. Unfortunately,
wait before you say that. So these white brothers, their brothers, not saying that they brothers to us, but they're a family of two. They pay fines for black people that were jailed to get them out of jail for minor offenses. They pressed them into serve on their plantation, okay, we didn't read it fully, but the 13th Amendment outlaws slavery, involuntary servitude, and this thing called peonage. Let me get this right. Let me make sure I got this word right. I think it's called peonage. I want to read the definition first. Okay, so peonage is also called debt slavery or debt servitude. Is a system where an employer compels a worker to pay off a debt with work. This was outlawed. One of the things that was outlawed in the 13th Amendment as well. So now, these white men were going to pay the fines for these black people and then pressing them to work their debt off for them. Keep reading. Now, wait, if I can. Now, they worked the blacks hard, disciplined them harshly, and beat those who resisted. Sounds like normal slavery to me. Anybody? What does it sound like to y'all? It sounds like normal slavery? Does this sound like anything other than the 1800s, 1700s? Don't sound like that to me either. Keep reading.
Unfortunately, for the future of their system, they beat Herbert Monk Thompson so badly that he died.
So badly that he what?
That he died.
So now, without giving it away, I believe, unfortunately, is a key factor in this. Because during chattel slavery, beating a nigga to death was nothing. Right? So this saying, what does that imply about this particular case? Anybody want to give it a shot? Go ahead.
The white people got in trouble.
But they got in trouble. That's true. So what if that's, okay. Because they got in trouble, what time period do you think this is? I mean, let's go down the line. 1865 with the Emancipation Proclamation. December 6, 1865. Well, 1863 with the Emancipation Proclamation. 1865, December 6, 13th Amendment. So are we in the 1860s, 70s? 1870s? You think 18? What about you, Ron? What you think? 1866. Yeah, I didn't get that's that Price is Right. That nigga said what he gave? Well, I'm gonna give him one less. All right, let me see if there's anybody in the chat, man. Somebody in the chat, tell me what year y'all think this is, man. Let me look and see if somebody gonna get this right. Let me see. What year is this? We got what you said it was, YAHANNA? 1870. Rom said 1866. What do y'all think? Somebody tell me. What do y'all think this took place? Let me give y'all a second. You got an opinion, Malaki? What you think? That's a reasonable conclusion.
YN Israel says
1890. Listen, all of y'all have given. Besides you, I'm not going because you ain't even said on the mic, and you didn't raise your hand either. Nah, leave that nigga alone. Y'all all gave great answers with great respect to the white man. Great respect, because clearly, I mean, this has to be the 1890s. I mean, surely something like this can't happen in the 1900s. Brother, keep reading what you got.
Khan. That death triggered an investigation and prosecution by Frank M. Johnson Jr., then the United States Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama. The year was 1954.
The year was what?
1954.
The year was what?
1954.
That's a little far from the 1890s. That's a little far from the 1866. Year was what again?
1954.
Keep reading.
Almost a century after the infamous Dred Scott decision, in which the Supreme Court declared that blacks were beings of an inferior order, so far inferior that they had no rights, which the white man was bound to respect.
Do you hear that, Mr. Clarence? Mr. Clarence, the colorblind Constitution? This is 1954. There are paved roads out here. The car is out here. The Wright brothers have already been flying out here. 1954. When was Martin Luther King killed? Like in the 60s? This is like 12 years prior. This is after Brown versus Board of Education. Well, let me double check that, because I think it is. Let me just double check. Because listen, Mr. Clarence, honorable, I could be wrong about things. So let me just double check. When was Brown versus Board of Education? Brown v. Board of Education. The same year. The same year Brown posterized at the Board of Education, 2 white men were charged with slavery. 1954. Keep reading now.
Khan. When Johnson rested his case, the defense called witnesses after witness to testify to the good character of the dial.
So now anybody know anything about court, right? And I don't. I watch TV. I ain't never been there. But there's this thing that never works with black people, but it's called character witnesses, where you can get a whole bunch of people come up and talk about someone's character. There's a very famous case that happened when people called a bunch of famous character witnesses, and I believe it was Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, a man that was notorious for pedophilia. Touching kids and having sex with minors, who some say killed himself, who hung and broke his own neck in a couple places where a hanging shouldn't happen like that. But look, Clarence, I ain't saying somebody done it. I'm just saying that's what it, that's what the coroner said. So a character witness can go a long way. It went a long way for Mr. Epstein. And so, you know, a few other white people too. I don't think it goes far with niggas though. I don't really think it goes that far with black people. But there's a thing called character witnesses where people can come and give testimony on your behalf. And this was what's happening in this case. You got people, witness after witness, coming up, giving character witnesses to the Dow brothers. Keep reading.
Khan. Cross-examining one, an old farmer. Johnson asked casually if the Dials were known to beat the blacks who worked for them.
Stop. Now, I want y'all to understand what's being said. Understand the picture that's being painted. These two white men are charged with slavery in the 1950s, 54 to be exact. They're in court being tried. And there's a part in the court where the judge is allowing people to come in and speak on these white men's behalf. And the defense attorney casually asks him this. You know, you can't, because he knows this person is going to speak nothing but positive things on this white man because he's a character witness. You already know that this witness is going to speak and going to help your case. So he casually just asks him. What does he ask him?
The witness replied.
No. Ask him what he asked him again.
Cross-examining one, an old farmer, Johnson asked casually if the Dials were known to beat the blacks who worked for them. The witness replied. Also casually.
Also what?
Also casually.
Also casually. The witness replied.
Yes.
What did he say?
Yes. I've heard about that.
That nigga said, yes, I've heard about that. So just imagine some white lawyer talking to this man on the stand now this lawyer is a defense attorney trying to get his clients off of the charges, brings his witness up and just casually asks him, hey, are the Dow brothers known as to be beating black people? And this nigga casually says, yes, I've heard of that. Listen, okay, now you don't get it, Mr. Clarence. I understand you don't get why I'm laughing. And this is why I'm laughing. Read the next part.
Khan. The chief attorney for the defense called a recess.
Called a what?
Called a recess.
Called a what?
Recess.
The nigga had to call a recess. If you don't know what a recess is, according to TV, a recess is when they clear everybody out for a certain amount of time. Something that was said that was so egregious they had to call a recess. Why? Because this defense attorney was not expecting that. He wasn't expecting this man to say, yes, I've heard of that. Keep reading.
Followed the witness into the corridor.
He did what?
Followed the witness into the corridor.
Keep reading.
And exploded in fury.
Wait. He followed the witness into the corridor and exploded in fury. Remember, this witness is his character witness. You're supposed to say nothing but good things about my client so I can get him off. And you up here talking about he beats black people? Have you lost your mind? Keep reading. Go ahead. Wait, go get the mic.
It's so crazy. If you think about it, the judge is on his side too, because he called a recess.
You feel it? Give him a hand. Give him a hand. And to take it even back further, remember what they said about the police and the judges. Right. They were ex-Confederate soldiers. Right. That line didn't stop. The KKK, you know why they wear hoods? Because they go back to being your judges, right. Your jurors, your policemen, your DAs, your defense attorneys, right. Your presidents, right. Your owner of Coca-Colas, the owner of Pepsi. Know what I'm saying? Your Black Rock and what's that? Kevin Costner kick me in the ass if I don't remember this name. You know what? I'm gonna Google it. I'm just going to Google it. Put it in your Google machine. What's the other one? Black Rock. I cannot remember these other ones. And I know y'all don't know these names. This is like some big investment companies. They are in charge of pretty much everything. It's over Vanguard, BlackRock, Vanguard, and what's the other one? It's not the Rockefellers though. The Rockefellers fall under them. Vanguard and State Street. Like these are if I can put it into give you an example, like this isn't a person. Like if you understand the mark of the beast, you understand BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Because these three investment entities are like places where people put their money in. Think about it like a 401, like your 401k, but for Fortune 500 companies. So BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they pretty much own everything. I think it's up to like maybe. Oh, let me see what's in how high is it? State Street Network. In 2020, the nonprofit American Economic Liberties Project issued a report highlighting the fact that the big three asset management firms, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, manage over $15 trillion in combined global assets under management, an amount equivalent to more than 3/4 of U.S. gross. Now, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard is not a person. It's a collection of people. They probably don't even got the names of who the people that sit at the top. That's who run everything. You think about a president, right? Think about a president. And think about how much power you will have. At the most, you run 8 years. That's it. You have 8 years to make an imprint. There's a woman who's been in Congress since I've been in 3rd grade. Sheila Jackson Lee. Same. I'm talking about just same. That's it. 30 years ain't doing. It's 30 years of not doing a goddamn thing for us. These people, you don't even know their names. You don't even know their faces. Know what I'm saying? Like that's where these people went. That's where your clan dragons and all the covert racism people at. They're at the top. That's how they engrave themselves into the system. And you get a black judge every now and then through affirmative action, though I might add, Mr. Clarence Thomas, which I'm assuming because it was gutted, we won't get any more black Supreme Court people through it. Mr. Clarence, honorable, you're honorable. Know what I'm saying? But State Street and BlackRock and Vanguard, you don't even know them. Go ahead, give him a mic.
Salakia, sir, I had a quick question.
Go ahead.
Is it public knowledge where he went to college?
Is it public knowledge where who went to college?
Clarence.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know where he went?
Wow, sir.
This one will blow your mind. Oh, it's Ivy League. It is Ivy League for sure. Education. Let's see. Clarence Thomas, Associate Justice, blah, 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 blah. Conception Seminary from 67 to 68 and received an A.B. cum laude from Holy Cross College in 1971 and a J.D. from Yale Law School in 1974. Mr. Clarence, you only got that because of affirmative action. You only got it because of affirmative action. And the first time you get to, decide whether or not some other black man or black woman gets to benefit from the same rights you've benefited from, you struck it down. That's what you did. You struck it down. For a colorblind constitution, where here we are in 1954 talking about a slavery case. Read what you got out.
Khan. He asked earlier whether the character witness.
Start back over from the chief attorney.
Khan. The chief attorney for the defense called a recess, followed the witness into the corridor, and exploded in fury. He asked earlier It's like he had asked earlier whether the character witnesses knew anything bad about the dials. Why hadn't the old man told him?
Stop. Now, remember, he's brought in for the defense. You are coming in here to say nothing but good things about the defendant. And the chief attorney is like, I asked you earlier. I'm like, we've had this conversation. What did he say? Why had he asked the witness? He asked the witness earlier if he knew anything bad about the dials. Why hadn't the old man told him? That's what the chief defense attorney is looking at. Like, I came to you and asked you, do you know anything bad about him? You said no. Yeah, when I casually throw out, hey, have you heard anything about them beating? But because remember, they're trying to get off. So he's like, hey, did you ever hear anything about, the Dyer brothers beating blacks? Come on, And he was like, yeah, I think I've heard that. Just so casually, so nonchalantly. Read the next part. This is the part gonna blow your mind.
The farmer was upset.
The farmer was what?
The farmer was upset.
The farmer was what?
Was upset.
Why? Keep reading.
But Mr. Beto.
Wait, this is a quote. If y'all don't understand what I'm reading right now. The farmer was upset. This is a quote from the actual farmer. Read what the farmer said.
But Mr. Beto, whooping a nigger ain't bad in Sumter County.
God damn. Did you hear that? Whipping a nigger isn't bad in Sumter County. So why would I even tell you that it's bad? You asking to be a character witness, whooping a nigger, ain't nothing wrong with that. Not in Sumter County. We whoop niggas all the time. This is 1954. Mr. Clarence, Your Honor, Your Honorable. This is 1954. Mr. Wilbur. Mr. Wilbur, what was his name? Wilbur Bell, I believe. Mr. Bell. Mr. Vincent Bell, sir, elder. This is 1954. And this man said, ain't no wrong with whooping niggers in Sumter County. Isn't any more on that? Okay. We almost done, man. We almost done. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I got another video for you. I have another video for you. Let me close this. Let me start this. And I'm going to go here. Put that down. Okay. I want y'all to check this out real quick.
With Nelly, David O, Chloe Bailey, Kirk Franklin, Coyle Ray, Miguel, Jodeci, and so much more. Juneteenth, a global celebration for freedom. Live from the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. Tonight at 7 Eastern on CNN. Brought to you by Illinois, the Middle.
They got Nelly. Listen, anytime Nelly there, it's bound to be a tip drill or two. I mean, it's a celebration now. Now we got Nelly on the team. This is an advertisement for a Juneteenth celebration. They're calling it the Global Celebration of Freedom. The Global Celebration. Do you know Thanksgiving is not globally celebrated? Like we all got brothers in the UK. Talk to them brothers in the UK. Ask them about Thanksgiving. They don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because Thanksgiving is something that the white man in America did to the Native Americans. People in Ghana don't celebrate Thanksgiving. White people in Great Britain, in the UK, and in Italy and France, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Because that happened in America. Yet, Juneteenth is the global celebration for freedom. Y'all hang on that. I got one more video for you. Let me stop this one. Let me end that. Go back to this. Look at me knowing how to work this now. Share screen. And here go your president. Let's see what Mr. Biden got to say.
Farmers helped us feel the power of Juneteenth, Black Music Month, among other things. As Kamala described earlier, to honor the true meaning of Juneteenth, our entire administration is continuing to charge forward to literally redeem the soul of America. When I announced I was running the first time, I said I was running for 3 reasons. And even some of my staff thought I was crazy. I said one of the first reasons is to restore the soul of America. Restore decency and honor. Let me just add this. To me, making Juneteenth a federal holiday wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was a statement of fact for this country. To acknowledge the origin of the original sin of slavery. To understand the war was never fought over it. It wasn't just about the Union, but it was most fundamentally about the country and freedom. To remember the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't just a document. It captured the essence of freedom that galvanized the country.
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear Joe Biden just lie to you?
Right.
He said the Emancipation Proclamation gave you freedom. Didn't we read about the 13th Amendment? Right. Didn't we read how the Emancipation Proclamation didn't do a damn thing for slaves? Right. It didn't. It's the 13th Amendment that so-called abolished slavery. Yeah, he doesn't mention that. Joe Biden doesn't bring up the 13th Amendment. Let's keep going.
Proved that some ideas are more powerful. They can't be denied. It's a reminder that the promise of America is we all are created equal in the image of God, and we deserve to be treated equally throughout our entire lives. We're the most unique country in America, in the world. Other countries are founded based on faith, on ethnicity, on other things, religion. But we are founded on an idea, unlike any other country in the world. And we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. While we never fully lived up to that promise, we've never walked away from it either. And our best...
You hear that? You hear how you slipped that in there? But we never really achieved that. Did you hear that? All men are created equal. Certain inalienable rights. Although we never quite lived up to that promise. You don't say, Mr. Clarence. Mr. Clarence, Your Honorable. This is the colorblind Constitution you was talking about? The Constitution that didn't live up to the promise that all men were created equal? I don't know, Mr. Clarence. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody on here is just wrong, and maybe you're right. Maybe America doesn't see color. I got one last one for you. Pull that last article. You got a question or something? You comment? Okay, we'll pull the last article.
Honorable Khan, the failures of integration.
The what?
The failures of integration.
This came from. Hold on. Let me stop this. Go back. All right, this came from the Center for AmericanProgress.org. Read what you got.
Honorable Khan, 50 years after Brown versus Board, we now profess to believe that the United States should be an integrated society and that people of all races are inherently equal and entitled to the full privileges of citizenship.
Now, as we read earlier, Abraham Lincoln told you would never get the advantages of the other races. Never. You don't have them as a slave. You won't have them as a free man. This is what he told them in 1862. So we can't be surprised that in 1863 and 65 and in 1954 or in 2023 when they struck down affirmative action, that we as black people would get the same rights that white people get. Because that Constitution that Your Honorable Judge Clarence Thomas said that's colorblind, they see niggas. They see it. You might not, Clarence. You might not. You don't see color. I get you. I understand, brother. You've been white for a long. I mean, you've been ingratiated into society for a long time, so you don't see it. No sweat. Everybody else sees it though. Everybody, like the sister said, the obliviousness of it, to think that you can get freedom through a legal fiat. That's it. Keep reading.
Here is the reality.
Here's the what?
The reality.
Keep reading.
While we accept these values and the abstract.
In the what?
In the abstract.
The word abstract means like in theory. Although we accept these principles in theory, keep reading.
We are mostly pretending that they are true.
You hear that, Clarence? I know you accept it. I know you accept these values in abstract. Read it again.
While we accept these values in the abstract,
Mr. Judge, Honorable Clarence Thomas, that's you.
We are mostly pretending that they are true.
That's all you're doing. You go to those voting booths and pretend that your vote counts. Let me tell you something. If you want to know how presidencies work, look at what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump was trying to rig the election not by the people who goes to the voting machines, because he knows that's not how presidents are picked. See, here in Texas, Texas is a red state. Yeah, you voted for Barack Obama 2 times. They didn't give a damn about that. This not a swing state. This ain't no one. It might be red. It might be blue. Oh no. This is how Flip said. Southside niggas ride nothing but red. This is a red state. No matter what you thought your battle was going to be, the George Bushes was not going to let that go to anybody but the Republican Party. Anybody but. So Donald Trump didn't attack or target the people at the voting machines. He tried to tell the Electoral College who to pick, because that's how presidents are won. Mr. Clarence, if you didn't know that's how presidents are won. Read it again.
While we accept these values in the abstract, we are mostly pretending that they are true. At the dawn of the 21st century, the ideals of integration and equality of opportunity still elude us.
Are you kidding me? At the dawn of the 21st century, the ideals of integration, equality, and opportunity, they still elude us. Keep reading.
And we are not being honest or forthcoming about it.
Hear that, Mr. Clarence? You're honorable. We're not being honest or forthcoming about it. The we're is you, nigga. You the nigga not doing it. You're not being honest. You're not keeping it a buck. You're not stepping 10 toes down for reality the way you do for the colorless, colorblind Constitution. A piece of paper that doesn't have eyes. But you being a black man who went to Yale because of affirmative action. That's how you got in. But you made sure that no one else gets in because of affirmative action like you did. And your proposition, you think you're making this place better. Maybe you are. You're making it better because you're making it less black. That's what you're doing, Your Honorable. Picking judges or going to Harvard or going to Yale or any one of these prestigious Ivy League colleges that usually will have to have a certain amount of minorities there. Or even your jobs used to have a certain amount of minorities there. Even the NFL got a rule. The Ricky Rooney rule? You've heard of that? The Ricky Rooney rule. I don't know, most of you haven't heard of it, but there's a rule in the NFL that before a candidate for coaching is to be picked, you have to at least consider a nigga. You don't have to hire him, but you have to consider a nigga. You know, it came out a few years ago with the Dolphins, I believe. Who? What was the name again? No, it was a Brian something. It was okay. The coach is a black coach and a white coach. They got the same name. Flores, right? So somebody in the inside found out that they found the candidate who they wanted to hire, and it was Brian. So the man texted the Brian like, "Hey man, good job on getting the coaching thing." But the Brian he texted was the nigga who had a you can't make this up. The person he texted was a nigga who had an appointment for consideration. You following me? So he texts this brother, "Congratulations on getting the coaching job." But this ain't the Brian that they hired. This is the Brian that they saying we want to talk to about hiring. He ain't even had his interview yet, but they have their coach already. They're just interviewing him to follow the protocol of the Ricky Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule, I believe it's called. That's why. I'm sure you don't know that, Mr. Honorable Judge Clarence, because unlike you, everybody sees color. Everybody sees it. Cut the bullshit. Everybody sees that America hates blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's right. Everybody knows it. Right. But you, just like O.J. Simpson, just like Tiger Woods, just like Michael Jordan, just like Jay-Z, just like Diddy, just like every other black entertainer that thought coming together with the white man, joining with them with the white man, making yourself great while the people around you starve. You know, at least you got yours. I mean, what Jay-Z say? Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I triple my worth. Yeah, maybe you do. Maybe you triple it. What about them people in Brooklyn who can't? What about them people who don't have the talent like you have to rap? Or the how can I say it nicely? The propensity to stab their brothers in the back. Maybe they don't have that the way you've done to get where you're at. Miss Condoleezza Rice. Maybe these black women didn't think of sleeping their way to the top. Oprah Winfrey. Maybe these black women didn't think about selling their people out to get to the top. Mr. Michael Jordan. I mean, I know Republicans buy sneakers, but maybe there are some brothers out there who don't give a damn about whether or not Republicans buy shoes or not to speak on these issues. But you're the ones they point to when they say, look how far we've came. Look how far we've came. 2 black Supreme Court judges, a quote-unquote black president. Oprah is a billionaire. Jay-Z is a billionaire. Jordan's a billionaire. LeBron's a billionaire. Kobe had money. All these opportunities. Ice-Cube making movies. Got his own league. All these opportunities. America is the land of the free and the home of the brave and the home of opportunity if you just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. But like the sister brought out earlier, you can pull bootstraps up for the next 25,000 years. You're not reaching equality. Why? Because like Abe Lincoln said, it's just not in the cards. Let's get some of these scriptures to get to it. Give me somebody give me Ecclesiastes 7:13. Let me get Psalm 55:20. And then somebody get Psalm 83:2. You can read them as you get them, and I'll call the next ones when we're done with them. Whoever have it, you can read it first. Make sure you got the mic. Oh, matter of fact, give me you got Ecclesiastes 7:13? Yeah, get that, but start at verse. Give me 7 and 13. I'm gonna go back to 7 first.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. You can hear it in my voice. I've done the research. All the brothers here have done the research. All the sisters here have heard the research. That's why we're so angry. That's why we call the white man the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. Right. Because we are wise. And that oppression is making us angry. It's making us mad. It's pissing us off that people like Judge Clarence Thomas, the Honorable, choose to ignore it. People like Jay-Z, the great Hove, H-O-V, Hovey, baby, said that I think the time for kneeling is over. Ended Kaepernick's whole regime of kneeling down, pissing white people off. People like Oprah, who don't see color. People like Michael Jordan, who, everybody buys sneakers. Y'all aren't angry because y'all are not wise. Keep reading.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
The gift destroys what?
Destroyeth the heart.
And that gift destroyed y'all minds. It polluted your brains. You don't give a damn about niggas anymore. So now everybody want to grow up and be the next LeBron, the next Mike, the next all these things, right? Do you know it's only 440-something jobs in the NBA? And every year they have a draft class of 60 people. So every year 60 people come in the league and 60 people go out. Every year. And somehow they've taught you that your whole existence is trying to be the 1% of the 1% that get drafted and the 1% of the 1% that get drafted to stay on the goddamn team. Or to go to some white college and endure racism for 3 fucking years there to play football to get drafted to the NFL. With that career, if you're good, lasts 3 years. Yeah, we are angry. We are. Yeah, we are angry because we're wise. And we know that these so-called opportunities that America is giving us is destroying our heart. Juneteenth, it's just the latest. It's not the last. It's just the latest. Go down to 13.
Khan. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 13. Consider the work of God.
Consider what?
The work of God.
Let's consider what the Lord has made. He made the heavens and the earth. He made people. He made water. You look at water and be like, oh, this is water. No, that's actually elements. There's hydrogen too, and thinking oxygen. That's water. That's something that was made, chemically compounded. Consider what he's done. The sun, the stars, the moon. Consider the work of God. Consider what by his hands or his instruction, everything was made. Read this next part.
For who can make that straight which he hath made crooked?
You understand that? Who can make straight what the Lord made crooked? I know you want to think, Mr. Clarence Thomas, that telling everybody that you don't see color in how much you love America's ideals and how much you believe that blacks and whites should get along and how much you believe that all men are created equal. It ain't working like that. The Lord made this man to be crooked. There's no amount of love you can give to change that. There's no amount of legislation you can pass to change that. You can pass 1,000 amendments to the Constitution and the fact will remain the same. They're gonna hate you. Because that's how the Lord made them. He made them to be crooked. Who else holding something? Read what you got. Whoever's holding it. What you got? Read that. Wait, no. Who got the Psalm 55? I need that first. Psalms 55, 20 and 21. You got it? Go ahead, read it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
That's what Abraham Lincoln done. Abraham Lincoln came to that meeting with all them black people to put his hands forth, to be at peace with you. Listen, these people are never going to accept you, no matter what I want or not. They're never going to accept you. Yet he go in front of 12,000 people and say, I or nobody I've ever known ever wanted to be equal with niggas. Ever. I don't even know where you got the notion that I felt like that. That's what Abe Lincoln said in front of the white people. But when he got in front of the blacks, the Clarence Johnsons of the world, hey, the niggas who don't see color, the colorblind and all this BS. He pulled forth his hand with them as to be at peace with them. Keep reading.
He hath broken his covenant.
He had did what?
Broken his covenant.
He broke that deal. He said, listen, I got this bill for you. It's called the Emancipation Proclamation. It's going to set all you niggas free. Mark my words. And then he dropped it and didn't move a needle. So then they came out and said, well, listen, we got something better for you. We got the 13th Amendment. And that makes slavery illegal everywhere. I mean, except, if you're a criminal, which so many of you are not. Mr. Clarence Johnson, you're not a criminal. You're a judge. You've walked the straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying? So no, not you. You would never be a slave. With your brothers, those who are not as fortunate as you. Should they break the law, they can be slaves again. That's exactly what he did. Put forth his hand to be at peace. Read it again.
He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant.
He broke that covenant. He broke that covenant with the 13th Amendment. Then, listen, he broke so many covenants. goddamn, you want to talk about the hundreds of treaties he did with the Native Americans that they held to none of them? None of them. The white man don't give a damn about any deal he's made with anybody except white people or people who have the ability to fight back. So you's a nigga. You can't fight back. You can't. And that always killed me when people say, let's take up arms. Let's go get guns. You know how many guns we got in UPK? We got guns. Guns and niggas ain't a problem. We got that. But you know what we don't have? Gun manufacturers. Ammunition manufacturers. You know what I'm saying? We can go buy all the bullets we can buy. Eventually we'll run out. So obviously, shooting guns with this white man, someone who's been shooting them all his life. How do I know, nigga? You was a target practice. We're not beating him like that. Keep reading.
Verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Smoother than butter. Not smooth as. Smoother than butter. Listen, that boy Abe Lincoln was bad. He was bad. Before today, okay, he's a white man, obviously, so we know who the devil is. But y'all niggas ain't never was like, F. Abe Lincoln. This was like, man, F. George Bush. F. Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? F. Bush and his daddy. Niggas love Clinton. Niggas love Abraham Lincoln. Well, you know why you love Abraham Lincoln? Because his words are smooth as butter. But guess what? Keep reading.
But war was in his heart.
War was where?
In his heart.
The heart is your mind. War was in the mind of Abraham Lincoln. Because he came to tell you something 4 years later that was different from what he told them white folks at their meeting, at their battle, at their debate, in front of 12,000 of his peers. He said, I don't even want these niggas equal to me. And if they're going to be around, somebody got to be superior. And I, just as well as anybody else out there, vote for the white man to be that superior race. But when he came in front of the niggas, he was, hey, look, listen, bro. Listen, I'm coming to you as a brother. I'm just saying as a friend. No matter what I want. No, listen, I can want you to be equal. I can want you to have all the equality with me, all I want. But these people, they're not going to accept that. That's what he did. War was in his heart. Keep reading.
His words were softer than oil. Yet were they drawn swords.
Those words he uttered when they put together that 13th Amendment. All right. Face value, abolishing slavery. Except, well, then you look at it like this, well, as long as I don't break any laws, as long as I'm not a criminal, I guess I'll never be a slave. And partially true. As long as you're not, speeding, you might not get a ticket. As long as you're not stealing and murdering and committing fraud, you might not get a ticket. You might not go to jail. But what about when they're just making up shit? You know how they do. When they just make it up. Because why? The police officers are ex-Confederate soldiers. The judges are ex-Confederate slave owners. Once you get the court out, you're at the mercy. You're at the mercy. And Lord help you if you get Clarence Thomas, because he don't see black. He gonna come in here and see 2 white men. Oh, look at all these white people in here. Let's give them fair judgment down the middle. Give me the Psalms. Huh? No, I'm sorry. The Psalms 83. Salakia. Start at verse 2.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden one.
Now, we always focus on the so-called white man. Did y'all see that video I played? The global celebration of free. So now in my research, right, I was trying to compile all my videos together, what I'm gonna show. Some of them I had to skip because I don't think I had the discipline to discuss those matters in class on camera. One of those videos was Ghana. The country of Ghana celebrated Juneteenth as a global celebration of freedom. The people responsible for you ending up here celebrating the global celebration of freedom. Keep reading that.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They have said what?
Come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
So now they've made this decree that they're gonna come and work together to cut us off from being a nation. Abe Lincoln said, if you don't like what's happening, or if you want a better life, you should go back to Africa. But nobody is saying go back to where we were at. Nobody is giving us a specific nation to go back and claim our own. They tried that in Liberia. What happened with that? They tried that in Demona. What's happening with that? Everybody on this globe has participated in your demise. Everybody. Some covertly, like, the Chinese and the Japanese and maybe like the Hawaii, especially the Hawaiians. Listen, the Hawaiians are so covert with whatever they've done. I ain't got no hate for them niggas. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never looked at a Hawaiian roll like, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never had nothing against Hawaiians. You know what I'm saying? Surf's up, nigga, whatever. But then you got some that are overtly racist, like white people, like Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like your who else? I mean, name them. Is that the bleach blonde, butch body, bad built bitch? Yeah. Especially people like her. You know what I'm saying? But all of these people that took place in it. Keep reading.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Now, these other nations are all confederate against you because they all know when the Negro, the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American are in slavery, everybody else prospers. Because the scriptures say that you were that holy thing, that holy people that God chose to be above all people. Should you keep his commandments? You know what I'm saying? Should you follow to what he say to do? And time after time after time after time again, we keep the commandments, we break them. We keep the commandments, go into slavery, stop breaking the commandments, he frees us. It's a never-ending cycle of over and over and over and over and over and over, right? So much so that we think that the requirements is a bull, is a bullock, a lamb, a dove. Well, the Lord said, I don't require that sacrifice, or else I would give it. Know what I'm saying? Like, I require a broken and contrite spirit. That's true repentance. Let's just get some of that. I had some other things I want to bring, but we kind of running. Let me get Nehemiah 9:27 real quick. I want to address a little something else. So all throughout the history, we've looked at people like Abraham Lincoln, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Farrakhan, like all these leaders that have popped up, telling us about the code, the thing to do to get the freedom. Know what I'm saying? Whether it be becoming an American, whether it be being a Christian, whether it be, being a Muslim. It's always something they saying, you do this and we get the freedom. Clarence Thomas, just pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, none of these things work, but there is a thing that's in the Bible that God said does work. So we're going to go by a couple of these scriptures that we can go in the Bible and see how we get free. Because you can't get freedom with legislation. Sister, I forgot her name, but the sister on the Supreme Court told you that. You can't just decree it. You just can't get equality in racial justice by legal fiat. So read whoever got in Nehemiah 9:27.
Khan. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9, verse 27. Therefore, thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies.
Thou did what?
Thou deliverest them into the hand of their enemies.
So now, when you go in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, it talks about how life would be for Israelites if they keep the commandments. You'll be above all people. All these good things, all these blessings shall come to you. But then there's the other thing, when you don't follow the commandments, when you're not a follower of the law. Well, all these curses shall come upon you. And one of those curses was the slave trade. It was. Well, the Lord put us in that predicament because of our disobedience. Well, that's not the only time we've been disobedient. Being an Israelite is damn near rooted in disobedience. You go through them scriptures, especially in the Old Testament, that's all we've done is messed up, came back, messed up, came back. Here's in Nehemiah what the Lord is talking about. What Nehemiah is talking about how the Lord delivered us into the hands of our enemies. Keep reading.
Who vexed them. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, they heardest them from heaven.
They'll read it again.
Slakia. And in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven.
You hear that? In the time of our trouble, we cried out to the Most High, and He heard us from the heavens. Keep reading.
And according to thy manifold mercies.
Read that again.
Slakia. And according to thy manifold mercies.
Read, that's two words. Read that together.
Slakia. And according to thy manifold mercies.
To thy manifold mercies. You understand that? Because without the Lord's mercy, we wouldn't even be here. You go back into the book, I think it's in Exodus or Numbers, where the Lord was going to kill all the Israelites and start over with Moses. And Moses, unlike Clarence Johnson, unlike him, unlike the Honorable that doesn't see color, Moses stood up to the Lord and beseeched him and said, Lord, if you do this, what would our enemies say? That you freed us from Egypt just to kill us in the wilderness? And the Lord stayed his judgment. That was the mercy he gave us then. Nehemiah said, what about the mercies?
And according to thy manifold mercies, thou gavest them saviors.
How do we get the saviors? Read it again.
Thou gavest them saviors.
The Lord gives you saviors. The Lord didn't give you Abraham Lincoln. The Lord didn't give you Maya Angelou. The Lord didn't give you your Honorable Justice Clarence. The Lord didn't give you Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, your pastor, her pastor, his imam, your Buddhist monk, your presidents, your parliament leaders, your kings. The Lord didn't give you them. The scripture in Deuteronomy 28, the 28th chapter says that no man shall buy thee, meaning no man will redeem you. No man. Go ahead.
Like if I could, sir. What you're saying is so heavy because it's making me think the Lord obviously gave us Commander General YAHANNA.
Damn right.
And with that being said, the Lord is choosing who Commander General YAHANNA, who he gets to.
Damn right.
Which means you're chosen to be in the UPK.
Give him a hand. Give him a hand. And see that right there, that's something that works. Commander General YAHANNA has a history, has a pedigree. 40 years of doing this. 40 years of waking brothers up, taking brothers off of drugs, getting brothers out of jail, getting them out of the snares of the law, turning them to priests and prophets, turning sisters into wives and better parents and better sisters and better children, period. But the Lord sends those. The Lord ain't send you Islam. He didn't send you Christianity. Keep reading.
Khan. Who saved them out of the hand of their enemies.
That's Commander General YAHANNA right there. Know what I'm saying? Saving us out of the hands of our enemies. Under the Most High in Christ, of course. I'm not saying that, for our enemies out there who think that. I'm not saying that he's the Most High or Christ. But I'm saying that seat that Peter occupied is now being occupied by Commander General YAHANNA.
Right.
Give me Revelation 18:3. And this is for that global celebration of freedom. I know you see that it's popular to attach yourself to black suffering. Know what I'm saying? Like slave movies are so popular. All the trap music, the hardcore rap music, the drill music, everything that's negative about black people makes millions and billions worldwide because y'all just love our stories so much. Y'all just love it. Y'all love it so much that you play a part in the transatlantic slave trade, and now you're talking about you're celebrating the global celebration of freedom. But no problem, Mr. Your Honorable Clarence. Listen, I understand people who think like you feel like these people can do this, and no one bats an eye. I'm here to tell you that that's not so. We're going to read it in the Bible. Read what you got, Out.
Khan. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk.
For some nations?
For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
See, now America is known largely for how they treated their slaves. But everybody played a part in it. From the Arabs building the slave ships, from the so-called Jews financing banks from it. And here's the thing, like anybody that's associated with the Holocaust, they get shunned. But you can literally tie some of these banks back to slavery and nobody gives a damn. Well, all of these nations have drunkenness fornication with America, with Babylon. Keep reading.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
You hear that, Gunner? I know you want to celebrate the global celebration of freedom with us. Listen, I understand. Maybe you feeling remorseful about what your people have done to us. And I know you've opened your gates for us to come back and spend money with you. I understand that. Listen, I get you. And if I could say, with all due respect, and I mean from the bottom of my heart, when it comes to the generosity you're showing us with your global celebration of freedom, I would like to say, fuck your freedom. Fuck it. Fuck all of it. We don't want it. We don't want your false sense of remorse. Because you don't give a damn. You're not lobbying to change some legislations over here. Not that it doesn't even matter, but you're not lobbying for that. You're not going to these G18 conventions like Ron said, or Rom said, talking about the freedom and equality for the niggas y'all got there. You're not at the United Nations, at the consulates fighting for us. But you want to participate in a global celebration of freedom. I get it, no sweat. Keep reading what you got, Out.
Khan. And the merchants of the earth.
And the what?
And the merchants of the earth. Are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
So now, out of all the businesses that were started from slavery, y'all got rich while we were destroyed. Y'all got rich while we were impoverished. Y'all got rich while we were murdered. You know what I mean? You know, there's so many people who jumped off the damn ships. They jumped off. So many people jumped off the damn ships that the sharks changed their migration patterns. Because people thought it was better to die than to be a damn slave. But I know, I mean, listen, it's 2024. I mean, we all fall short, right? No sweat. I want to let you know, though. We got something coming for you. And when I say we, I mean the Israelite school of UPK under the Most High in Christ.
That's right.
We got the blueprint to freedom. And it's not through passing laws or legislation. It's way more simple than that. It's just obeying the word of the Lord. Keep reading now.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her.
Saying what?
Come out of her.
Who?
My people. That ye be not partakers of her sins. And that ye receive not of her plague.
This is what we go out every week and teach. We go out every week to our people and teach to come out of these systems. The honorable judge, you should come out of that. Anything that any position someone has gave you to where you believe that you no longer see color, that you can be oblivious to the fact that the Constitution is racist, that you can be oblivious to all the institutional racism here in America, that you can say that the Constitution is colorblind. Colorblind. That's the word you use to describe it. That's the adjective that you use that comes to your mind, your Ivy League decorated mind, when it comes to describing the ideals of America, that you believe the Constitution is colorblind. No sweat. No sweat. You believe that. We don't. And the Lord telling us to come out of her, my people. Be not partakers of her sins, because destruction is coming to America. I got some more, but I'm gonna just end it there. We're gonna pass the class over to Officer Malachi. Give a clap up. Oh, go ahead.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shake themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, which is a free will offering for priests. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The Feast of First Fruits.
No, it's tomorrow. I think the closing, right?
The Feast of First Fruits starts the Sabbath, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Sunday, sundown, April 28th, 2024. Count 50 days. Celebrate the 50th day. Monday, June 17th, 2024. Leviticus chapter 23, verses 10 through 22. If any brother who wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headbands, war scarf. These are security announcements.
With that, we say Imagine, Mr. Stan. We'll give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Baba Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua Barakatah, Yahweh Sar, which means turn to the sisters. Sisters Amajim, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Baba Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shema Latah Hashem Yahushua. Yahweh Shema Latah Hashem Yahushua. Yahweh Matah, declare dismissed.